And welcome back to the Lewis Basketball and Football Network. It is your boy Lewis, and I am back once again with another banger, heavy hitter with yet another video. Here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize, but when I realized is when I just did that New York Football Giants video about Eli and Daniel Jacobs, I realized that my mic was not working, and so when I checked, the volume for some reason I was having issues with the volume. So when I went to listen to the replay of the video, I could not hear it, and so it really messed up on that. And so I deeply apologize for that. So I will remake the video later on. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, let's again subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as you come in, share the content, comment down below at the end of this video, and come into the chat. I really want to know who is what's up and today's topic. And let me know if you guys like enjoy me doing these little now overlays as I'm doing now, because I haven't been doing these overlays before. But the topic at hand is James Harden and Russell Westbrook. So what I'm talking about here is what are my expectations on this Houston Rockets team with these two superstar players in James Harden and Russell Westbrook. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, like the video as you come in. So we are going to talk about it. Um, Make sure that your notifications are turned on, because I think for some reason it's like I don't know what's going on, but for some reason that some people haven't been getting notifications. I've been getting feedback on that, and I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but YouTube is on. They're doing something right now, and for some reason, I'm also had this weird count to where I've had a number of views, and then they get taken away, and then they get put back too. So I don't know what's the issue with that. Pretty strange on that. So I don't know what YouTube is doing, but I think it's getting really kind of out of hand, if you ask me. But ladies and gentlemen, so what are my expectations on the Houston Rockets? I mean, what are your expectations of the Houston Rockets? How far do you think this team can go? When I look at these two players, we have two players that, as talented as these guys are, as much as I give those guys respect and I love their time in Oklahoma City, even though they are not the players in Oklahoma City that they are now, with both of them winning MVPs and being the back-to-back MVPs before Giannis won his this year, that they're now on the same team. James Harden is what, 29, going to be 30 years old. My man Omar, welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the episode, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure to share the content, my brother. I appreciate you, man, for coming in. And so, ladies and gentlemen, so yeah, they both won MVPs, and now they're on the same team after Russell Westbrook. He got traded for Chris Paul. And like I said, as I said before, you're talking about a point guard traded for max money for another point guard that got traded for max money. Only difference now is Russell Westbrook is on a playoff team. He's with another superstar, especially when Paul George, one of the heights of the century, when he got traded to the Los Angeles Clippers to pair up with Kawhi Leonard, who, as Skip always likes to call him number two because he didn't think number two was such capable of a devious thing. But he said he saw it coming from the time that he left the San Antonio Spurs. But and whatchamacallit. And shout out to my man D Jefferson, man. I don't know what's going on, man. Seriously, it's with the subs, it's with with these numbers, man. I don't understand. And then it's like with my views. Like 1 minute I have a bunch, and then it's like the views go down. I don't know what's the issue with YouTube, man. I don't know what it is. But shout out to my man D Jefferson, Debate Cage. And once again, if y'all haven't checked out Speak Your Mind Sports Talk, go subscribe to their channel. I'm telling you, you guys will not regret it. If you love to debate sports, you guys think you're knowledgeable about sports, I told you, MMA fan, boxing fan, football fan, baseball fan, sometimes even tennis. I mean, D Jefferson was just doing he was doing even a couple of live streams where he was narrating the game. So, if you guys are into that kind of stuff, go check out D Jefferson and go check out Speaking My Sports Talk on their channel, man. I'm telling you, great content from those guys, and I'm telling you, they're just going to continue to. I can feel their momentum is rising. Go check those guys out. And D Jefferson basically says, what up, my man D? What's going on, man? And yeah, no, the Eli live. Yeah, there was some issue with my mic, so I gotta take down that video as soon as the video gets uploaded fully to YouTube, and then I'll do another one with Eli and Daniel Jones. So I'll talk about that one, but. Getting back to D, he was basically saying, yo, YouTube is tripping, dog. I think the Rockets will make the postseason but fall short again. What up? Check it out. What up, D Jefferson, man? Omar, what are your thoughts about the Houston Rockets? What do you think that those guys are going to land this year? Here's my take on it. When I look at these two players, I look at two players who, to me, have performed great in the regular season, and I feel like these are two regular season players. And I know their fanboys, their fan base, the Russell Westbrook fan base and the James Harden fan base, they can never admit it to themselves that these guys, when it comes to big time moments, they just find a way to throw the game away. Russell Westbrook's issue is his shot selection and his turnovers. With James Harden, his issue is when you need a big basket, when the team needs you the most, like when they're looking for James Harden to take over the game, he does not do that. He tends to turn the ball over. James Harden then also takes poor shot selection. And my issue with Harden is like now they're showing that James Harden is working on this like one-legged step back three, and they're trying to say that he's going to be unstoppable. Listen, it's hard enough in the regular season to guard James Harden when this dude travels a lot. And I know his fans and saying, no, it's a skill to draw fouls and all this kind of stuff. I'm sorry. When I look at James Harden, I was a fan of his in Oklahoma City and in his early years in Houston. In his early years, he was utilizing. He took more mid-range shots in his early days in Houston than he has now. Now all that he will shoot threes. And when you look at the way that James Harden plays, I feel like it's predictable. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. The reason that what keeps LeBron going is the fact that that dude is big, that dude is strong, and yeah, man, it's like it's really sickening, bro. Like I don't understand what's going on with the fact that you have two great players who they've shown to me very poor low basketball IQ in crucial moments. That's where you show your greatness when you're able to understand how to execute down the stretch, whether you're facing adversity or if your team is in a comfortable lead. You know? And then you got James Harden constantly complaining about his MVP award that he didn't get over Giannis Antetokounmpo. Dude, let it go. Let it go. Because what James Harden is starting to show me is he cares about a regular season award more than a Finals MVP or winning an NBA championship ring. It's kind of like as long as I get MVP, I let y'all know I was the best player, my friend. You had a chance to prove that in the postseason. The postseason is where it matters, okay? The postseason is where you make your mark, okay? Regular season, you make your name. Playoffs is where you make your fame, my friend. You should know this by now. And Russell Westbrook, the triple-double stat chaser. I'm sorry. He took strides this year in trying to be a better teammate and allowing Paul George to be the center of the offense. And Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double. But you have to understand, with the spacing that is allowed in today's game, with the fact that there is a defensive 3 seconds, with the fact that the three-point shot is more evident in today's game than it has been in any other year in the history of the NBA, because of all of these three-point attempts by a lot of these shooting teams and what the Golden State Warriors have now made the blueprint for today's NBA, like the emphatic blueprint, and teams trying to emulate their style, more long rebounds. Don't you notice that a lot of bigs finish the defensive possessions playing defense, and then comes these guys like Russell Westbrook on the Thunder getting rebounds? And Russell Westbrook does fight hard for rebounds, but like I said, he's very too conscious of the stat sheet. Same thing with James Harden, when he's very conscious of his scoring streak. And I said, what's more important, you doing the necessary things to win or getting a score even if you know you're not going to win the basketball game? And that's my problem with these two players. Mentally, they have not taken those next steps yet. Appreciate it, D. What I want to know is, how is Mike D'Antoni going to make this work? This dude has been known about shooting and having a point guard who distributes the ball. Russell Westbrook can do that. Russell's going to have the spacing. I really feel like if both of these guys were to work their mid-range game, they'd be so dangerous. Or it would really be more dangerous. And also if they could play off the ball. Because neither player is really that good at playing off the ball. So their off-ball game has been very weak. And when you look at James Harden, he loves to score. He can get his assists, he can get his rebounds, but he loves to score. And you notice how it was much harder for him to be much more effective when he didn't have the rest in his pocket in the postseason. The game slows down, and they allow you to be more physical. You're not going to get the same calls that you're going to get in the regular season. And because James Harden did a poor job along with Chris Paul, knowing that you had an injured Kevin Durant where you had a chance to beat the Golden State Warriors so that your fans could talk about how much you dominated Golden State, you guys failed to get the job done. An injured Steph Curry went scoreless in the first half of a Game 6 and finished with 33 points. And you guys failed to show up down the stretch, and you guys end up losing the game. I'm saying to myself, and it's funny because now the owner of the Rockets was on First Take today, and he's capping already, saying that in the next 3 to 4 years, this team is going to win a championship, and it's time to win. I just don't think with a high-octane beta playing the point guard position with an alpha mentality and a so-called alpha with the mindset of a high-octane beta can win you a championship. And I don't like the fact that Mike D'Antoni has not learned to adjust his style. My issue also is Daryl Morey playing the analytics game. And I've said this a million times. His thought process on how the game should be played with their team style is why they're losing in the playoffs. Yeah, they haven't had the talent until 2018, but they keep trying to shoot threes. Austin Rivers said, mix it up, move the ball, but move yourselves. They couldn't do that. And it's just like they're facing the LeBron problem too. These guys are so ball dominant that they don't know how to play without the basketball. That's what they haven't learned yet. And that's where you have to take the next step. And in coaching, also, D just put a comment here. And he goes, Mike needs to learn to adjust his style also. When the three-pointer's not falling, Mike needs a plan B. The whole liver down the three will not win you a championship. And that's the thing. You need to have a diversification in your portfolio if you're Mike D'Antoni. What do I mean by that, Lewis? Like D. Jefferson just said, and he's speaking major facts on this. If you do not have a plan A, you need to have a plan B and possibly a plan C. My question is, how do you expect two ball dominant players to be able to coexist when you keep trying to convert the same play style that is really not going to be much effective for either one, especially with the fact that Russell shot the three ball very poorly. His field goal percentage was very low. And one time, Russell Westbrook was guarded as one of the best mid-range shooters in the game. His percentages were in the high 40s when he took mid-range shots. The problem is with his injuries, his mid-range percentage has gone down, his three-point percentage has gone down, and his free throw shooting has gone down. Let alone the fact that Russell Westbrook is 31 years old. So even though if Russell's in his prime, he's in his 30s now. So as soon as he hits that 33 years old, you're going to be technically not in your prime anymore, and you're going to be what's called, in basketball years, pretty much on the decline. You're young in life, but it's like you gain another 5 to 6 years when you're playing basketball when you're in your mid-30s. And that's what happens. You kind of look at it as kind of like dog years if you want to really make a comparison, you know? And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I look at James Harden and I'm like, you're complaining about an MVP award. Dude, you got one. That's great. You want to go out and win the MVP. That's great. But if it takes away from the team goal and winning a championship, what is all this going to mean? People are just going to relabel you as a regular season player. They're going to label Russell Westbrook as Mr. Triple-Double, but can't get it done in the playoffs. Won't sacrifice his numbers for the good of team winning. I mean, have y'all noticed that people just always go straight to the triple doubles when they don't talk about the defense? They don't talk about contested shots. Because I've seen Russell Westbrook die for loose balls. So I told you, he's a competitor. But my competitiveness is I'm talking about on the defensive end. And I need Russell to make smarter decisions with the basketball down the stretch. But the issue is I feel like the brain trust in Mike D'Antoni is not good for Russ unless he makes adjustments. And Daryl Morey with this idiotic theory. Because if you listen to the Rockets owner, this dude is talking about winning a championship. I bet you he's still thinking about if they beat the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs, finally we got them. This is not the same team. Yeah, you beat them all right, but it's like, what are you going to do with that victory? Are you going to take advantage of that and move further into the playoffs, and you're actually going to try to make something of it to where you may actually probably make the NBA Finals? Or are you just going to gloat over that and then lose in the next round? Don't make it to the finals, and then what's the excuse going to be? Because their fans are going to hang on to the stats, and they're going to hang on to the fact that they beat Golden State. Golden State has already proven themselves, and they won. You're talking about two MVP players that have been to the NBA Finals, and y'all already know that people have still not forgotten that little bomb, that little fart job that you did in 2012, James Harden. They still haven't forgot that. Or the fact that at home, you lost by 39 points to a San Antonio Spurs team that was missing both Tony Parker and Kawhi Leonard. And this was the year after Tim Duncan retired. And you only scored what? What was it, 10 points on 11 shots? And what, 30-something minutes of action? In an elimination game? I'm sorry, man, for that. There's no excuse for that. And that's why when I look at Chris Paul, the way the Rockets were constructed, I thought that they possibly could have won the NBA title. I just didn't trust them against LeBron James. I didn't trust them against LeBron James. Because if you look at the Warriors, why do you think they continue to give LeBron fits the last 2 seasons? Or 3 of the last 4 that he lost against them? You're talking about a much more smarter, high IQ offense. The thing with the Houston Rockets were they had the defenders to make it physical for LeBron. I just felt like that ball dominant style wasn't going to work. And the league would have pushed really hard for LeBron to win that title to say that he beat 2 superstars on one team, or he beat the team that won 65 games and the best record in the NBA, and then they'll say that LeBron's the GOAT. That's what they would have done. And as D says, they better worry about the Nuggets. They better worry about the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Blazers. The Golden State Warriors are not the threat in the West anymore. They're not the threat in the West anymore, but people are sleeping on them, D. I still got Golden State as a dark horse in that Western Conference. I don't think they're going to win the championship, but I still got them as a dark horse. The Rockets can't fall asleep and overlook them neither. Because if we got to remember, D, like I said, they're not a championship team right now. But you're talking about a Steph Curry that has something to prove with a chip on his shoulder. When Klay Thompson comes back, something to prove with the chip on his shoulder. Draymond Green looking great in terms of his physical condition with his offseason training. He's got a chip on his shoulder. So I definitely feel that the Warriors, they're going to be competitive and they're going to be right in the mix of the playoff race. I could look at them as one of the lower seeds. And I'm telling you, if the Warriors can get themselves a nice little team by after the trade deadline and they play well going into the playoffs, that is one team that you would not want to play in the first round of the playoffs because they can even smell an upset. Because they're going to be underdogs. And it is possible because anything can happen in the NBA. What I will say, though, is people need to watch. They also need to watch out for Utah. Even if they're not serious, that's a very good defensive team that got better offensively. I'm looking to see what Donovan Mitchell brings in year 3. So it's going to be interesting, folks. It's going to be really interesting. Real interesting. And I just don't trust this system with these type of players. James Harden may be working on his one-legged fadeaway three, one-legged step back three, and that he's not traveling and trying to work on his pivot foot and all that. This team has to get better in three-point shooting. They're lacking that as well. I just don't see it with this Rockets team. And you have a delusional owner who is thinking about how to beat the Golden State Warriors. They better worry about these other teams in the West, like D. Jefferson said. With all due respect to Houston, I don't see them going very far. Something has to give, and something has to convince me in the regular season that they look like real contenders. Right now, even with Westbrook and Harden together, they're pretenders. I don't care what anybody says. Right now, the Houston Rockets are pretenders. Call me a hater all you want. But I've watched the games and stats tell truth, but not all of the story. It only tells you part of it. Because what fans like to do, especially fanboys, they look at the stats as the end all to be all, not understanding that there's more context to stats than what you see in front of you. The games can really tell you more than by statistics. So, no, it's very true, man. So that's how I look at it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's how I look at it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end this one really quick. This was just gonna be on the. I just wanted to do this one real quick on the Houston Rockets. My expectations. My expectations. I'm gonna give them, if they find the right matchup, they can go to the second round. If they end up in the wrong matchup, I say another first round exit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right back and I'm going to do the Eli Manning, Daniel Jacobs video because my mic wasn't working, but I got my mic to work now, so it's all good. I hope you guys were able to hear me. So I'm going to end this little live stream real quick. And thank you guys who came to show some love. I'll be back with the football topic. And so, let me know what you guys think, man. As always, guys, share the content. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment down below. This is your boy, Lewis. You already know my slogan. As always, live, laugh, love. Thank you for being part of the live stream. I'm going to go switch right back to football. And I appreciate you guys. And I will be back with the next one. So, deuces. If y'all love football, come back for this football talk.
You ended the live?
Yeah, I just ended the live.